7, we will continue our discussion on object-oriented programming through C++. In the previous session, we have started about the inheritance and how to perform inheritance in C++. In this session, we will be continuing about what is inheritance and how to implement the inheritance in C++ and also what are the various types of inheritance you have and how to implement them with C programming. So in the previous session we have started about inheritance. I told you about the creating new classes from the existing classes and using the existing class properties. We'll be calling it as inheritance, where the existing class will be calling it as the base class and the new created class will be calling it as the derived class or the child class. This will be calling them as a parent class, this will be calling it as the child class, or it will be called as a super class, this will be called as subclass. Like this will be having different naming, but basically this will be your base class, and whatever the newly created class which takes the properties of your parent class will be calling them as derived class. Okay. In the previous session we have given an example about how to create or how to implement your inheritance, where you will be creating the first class, and in order to implement the inheritance we will be using this particular method where we will be writing this colon symbol to implement your inheritance, and we will be specifying the public to mention that this is a public inheritance. And in this session we will be looking about how your particular thing will be influenced by using other access specifiers. Okay, I have given an example about simple inheritance where one class will be present and another derived class will take the properties of your already existing base class. So this example I have given in the previous session. The derived class, whatever that is there, can access all the properties of the base class as well as the derived class. It can access the derived class properties as well as the base class properties. And I also told you about the influence of protected members when you are having your inheritance. As I told you, the protected members can be accessed by both its own class members as well as the inherited members. So the protected class members are just like your private, except that when you have a private members, they can be accessed by only within the class, but when you have a protected class members, those protected class members can be accessed within the class as well as the derived class members. Okay, so all these things I have told you in the previous session. We use protected members if you want to hide the data of a class but still want the data to be inherited by the derived classes. Okay, if you want to provide protection to your data, okay, either you can use your private access specifier or protected access specifier. If you use the protected access specifier, your particular data will be provided, that is, you will be providing your security to their data. They cannot be used outside the class. Apart from that one, whatever that is present as protected members, they can be also used by the derived classes or the subclasses or child classes, whatever you are having. So this is why you will be having the protected access specifier. So you should know the difference between what is public, protected and private. Okay, public means they can be accessed both inside the class and outside the classes. Private means they can be accessed only inside the class and they cannot be accessed outside the class. When you write protected, those members which are protected, they can be accessed inside the class and also they can be accessed by the derived class members. Okay, they cannot be accessed outside the class apart from your derived classes. Okay, that is about your protected members. This is an example regarding your implementation of the protected members. If you see, we are having the usual implementations. Then you are having a class. This is an animal class. Inside the animal class you are having one private variable, that is color is a private variable here, and you are having one protected variable, that is type. Type is the protected variable, and you are having public methods, that is eat method, sleep method and set color method. So the color is a private variable, so that it has to be accessed by only its own the class methods. So the set color method will set the color of your particular object. So you are having three different methods. After that you are having another get color method to return the color, that is your input and output of the color. Okay, the previous one is input of the color and this method is output of the color. And you are having one derived class. Okay, if you see class dog, public animal, so the dog is your derived class and the derived class is inheriting the animal class. Okay, derived class is inheriting the animal class. So whatever that is present in the animal class can be used in your dog class. So in the dog class you are having void set type. Okay, void set type method. So as you can understand, whatever you are having the type here, type is declared as protected in your previous class. If you see properly, type is declared as the protected member in your class animal. So since this is a protected member, this can be used in your derived classes. That is why you can be using this particular protected member, whatever that is present in your animal class, that can be used in your derived class. So that is why you are creating a set type method and you are using the type variable which is declared as protected in your animal class. And you are having display info method. So the display info method is you are printing the type and you are printing the C. Okay, what is the color? That color you are trying to print here. That is string C. You are going to pass some string C and you are going to print that particular C value. And you are having another general method, that is bark method. So if you remember properly, you are having how many methods? You are having eat method, sleep method, set color method, get color method, and you are having set type method and display info method and bark method. All are general methods. What you have to understand is this particular set type method. In the set type method, you can see that you are using your type variable. This type variable is declared as protected in your main class or your, what you can call it as the base class. Okay. If you see the main, since your dog class is the derived class, as you can understand, since it is a derived class, it can access its own methods as well as the methods of your base class. So you are creating dog1 object. So using the dog1 object, you are calling the eat method, sleep method and set color method. These three are your base class methods. These base class methods can be called by using your dog1 object, that is derived class object. So you are calling eat, which is a base class method, sleep, which is a base class method, and set color as black. Okay, this black will go as your parameter and you are going to set color as black. After that, you can call your derived class methods also. The derived class methods are your bark method and you are having set type method. Okay, you are having two methods, and the last one is display info method you are calling, which is present as your method in your derived class. You can see the derived class. Inside the derived class, you are having both display info method. The display info method will display your type, whatever the type that is present, and C, whatever C you are passing. Here you are passing the C as a mammal, dog1 dot get color. What is the color? Black. That particular black will be printed here. So my color is black. That will be printed here. So you can understand by this thing, what you have to see is, will be having inheritance. In the inheritance, whenever you declare your methods, your variables as protected variables, those variables can be used within the base class as well as it can be used within the derived classes as well. Okay, so that thing you should understand from your protected members. So with this, you should be able to identify what are your basic access specifiers in your class. So when you write access specifiers in your class, which access specifiers are private, which members are protected and which members are public. So based upon the declaration of your particular data members, you should be able to comprehend where you can use these particular variables and where you should not be using those variables. So if it is a private variable, it should not be used outside the class. If it is a public variable, it can be used both inside and outside the class. And if it is a protected variable, it can be used within the class as well as the derived classes. But your private variable cannot be used in the derived classes also. Okay. So this is about your protected members. And the next thing is about access modifiers in your inheritance. So you are having three access modifiers. One is public, private protected. Okay, so far you have written whenever you are performing inheritance. So if this is your base class, that is animal class is the base class. If I want to inherit something, I will be writing class dog, then I am specifying public, okay, your base class name. Okay, you will be writing your inheritance in this manner. You are going to specify that whatever inheritance you are performing, that is a public inheritance. So you should understand while writing the spaces, while writing your inheritance line, you should remember what access specifier you are specifying. If I specify it as a public, we can understand that it is a public inheritance. If I specify private, we will be calling it as a private inheritance, or you can specify the protected. Okay, the access modifiers can be used to inherit classes in this manner. What is the meaning which you are going to understand, that is what you are going to comprehend when you write these access specifiers here. That is, if I write public, what is the thing you have to understand? If I write private, what will be the consequence? If I write protected, what will be the consequence? You have to understand. Okay, so you can use any access modifier while performing your inheritance. If I write public, okay, so the access methods are having the following effects. So if I write public, if a derived class is declared in public mode, then the members of the base class are inherited, okay, by the derived class just as they are. Okay, as you should understand from this one, what if you write your particular statement, that is okay, if the derived class is we're naming it as a public inheritance, then you should understand that whatever that is present in, that is the members of your base class are inherited by the derived class just as they are. Just as they are means if you are having your public class, class animal, if you are having your class animal, so inside the class animal you can be having public members, you can be having private members, it can be having protected members. Okay, it can be having public members, private members and protected members. If I write the inheritance as a public, you should understand that whatever that is present here, that is, if the members are present as public, you can use the members as public here. If the members are private, they can be inherited as private. If the members are protected, they will be inherited as protected members. Okay, so you should understand that the members of the base class are inherited by the derived class just as they are. Whatever that is present here, they will be inherited in a similar manner. If you are writing a public inheritance, all the base class members will be inherited in the same sense. That is, the public members will be inherited as public members into your derived class. Your private members will be inherited as private and your protected will be inherited as protected members. So you should be using further in the same manner only. Okay. And if you write it as private, that is, if you write the same statement, if I write class so if I write the same thing, that is whatever the derived class as private, in this case all the members of the base class become private members in the derived class. Okay, if I write like this, whatever may be the members of your base class, they will become the members, that is, they will become private members of your derived class. Okay, so if your class animal has some public even if it is having some public members, they also will become private members here. For example, if I write something in C, now this particular C will be acting like a private member here. Okay, you need not write, but since you can be using the C variable here directly. Why? Because this is a base class and this is a derived class. Since you can use C directly here, but if you write that inheritance as private inheritance, at that instant this C will become a private variable here. So if C will become private variable here, you should know how to access the C. Okay, the C value can be accessed inside the class only, they cannot be accessed further outside the class. If you are calling your object, you cannot call the C directly. Okay, so you should know what is the meaning of your access specifier. Okay, if I write a public member or private member or protected member here, and if you are making it as a private inheritance, at that time all these members of your base class will act as private members in your derived classes. That is the thing about private. When you come from the protected, the public members of the base class becomes protected members in the derived class. Okay, whatever the public members you have in your base class, they will become protected members in your derived class. That is about your protected. Okay, so based upon the thing you are using, that is based upon the access modifier you are using in your C++ inheritance, the particular data members will be inherited. Okay, so if you write them as public, all the particular things will become as public in your derived class. If I write them as private, all the members will be declared as private in your derived class. And if I write protected, whatever the public members that are present, they will be derived as protected members. Okay. So the next thing is, you need to know there are 5 types of inheritance. So you have seen already one type of inheritance, that is single inheritance or simple inheritance. Okay. So we are having 5 different types of inheritance in C++. One is a single inheritance or simple inheritance. Another one will be calling it as multiple inheritance. And another one hierarchical inheritance. And we have multi-level inheritance and hybrid inheritance. Okay, where we will be combining multiple inheritances. So we will be looking about all these inheritances one by one. So what is simple inheritance? You have already seen this type of inheritance in the previous session. Okay, where you will be having one base class and we will be having a derived class. So all the derived class will inherit all the properties of your base class. This type of inheritance will be calling it as a single inheritance or simple inheritance, where you have declared the base class as animal class and your dog class as derived class. You should know by this time how to implement the simple inheritance. The second type of inheritance you have is multiple inheritance. So in multiple inheritance, a single derived class may inherit from 2 or more than 2 base classes. Okay, a single derived class will be having only one derived class. This particular derived class will inherit data from your multiple base classes. That is, you can be having more than one base class. That is, you can be having more than one base class, and all these base classes can be providing data to your derived class. We will be having one derived class. This derived class will inherit properties of multiple base classes. That thing will be calling it as multiple inheritance. So an example of your particular multiple inheritance is, if you are having a class, that is, this is a base class, class vehicle. Okay, inside the base class you are having one constructor. The constructor prints this is a vehicle. Okay, this is one base class, and you are having the second base class, that is a 4-wheeler, class 4-wheeler. So the class 4-wheeler class will be having one constructor, this is 4-wheeler vehicle. So you are having 2 base classes, one is vehicle, second one is 4-wheeler. So you have to, this is one class, this is the second class. You are going to use the 2 classes and inherit or derive from the third class. Okay, you are going to derive into the third class. So the multiple inheritance will be implemented in this manner, where class car is your derived class. After that, if you have to specify the 2 classes from which you are inheriting your derived class. That is, you have to specify public vehicle, this is the first class I am inheriting, comma, public 4-wheeler. So these 2 classes I am trying to inherit into your car class. Okay, so this is multiple inheritance, where you are inheriting the properties of 4-wheeler as well as vehicle into the car. And you haven't written anything, just you have closed the brace. Okay, since you are inheriting both the vehicle and four-wheeler class. You are going to use all the method. You can use all the methods which are present in your vehicle class as well as four-wheeler class. And inside the main, if you see, just I am creating one object of the car. So just I am creating one object of the car. What will happen? When I create the object of the car, it will inherit properties of your vehicle and four-wheeler. So indirectly we will be creating the objects of your vehicle and four-wheeler. So when you create the object of your vehicle, it will call its own constructor and it will print this is a vehicle, and it will call the four-wheeler class, that is it will create its own object and it will print its own constructor, that is this is four-wheeler. If you see, you are having vehicle constructor, that it will print this is a vehicle, and you are having four-wheeler constructor, it will print this is four-wheeler. When I create the object of the car, it will call these two things and it will print its own constructors. So the output will be this is a vehicle, this is a four-wheeler. So this is how you are going to implement your multiple inheritance, where you will be having two base classes and one derived class which will inherit the properties of the two base classes. So that is about multiple inheritance. Another type of inheritance is your multi-level inheritance. So in this type of inheritance, you will be having whatever the derived class, okay, will inherit from a class, okay, which in turn inherits from other classes. Okay, so you will be having the derived class which will inherit from one class and which in turn will inherit from other classes. You can be having multiple level like this. That is, you are having class A, which is the main base class. From this base class, you are going to have the derived class B. From this derived class B, okay, you will be having another level of derived class C. Okay, for C, this will be acting as the base class. For B, this will be acting as the base class. So this level of inheritance will be calling it as multi-level inheritance. So how you are going to implement this multi-level inheritance? So if you see, you are having the first one class vehicle, which will be having its own constructor, that is this is vehicle, and you are having the second class which will inherit the first class, that is four-wheeler class, which will inherit the first base class. So inside the class you are not writing much, just you are writing the constructor. Okay, just understand that this is the main base class. In your example, that will be A, and the four-wheeler will be B and car will be C. Okay, here you are having vehicle which will be the main base class, that is A, and four-wheeler which is inheriting your vehicle. So this will be acting like the class B, that is the second base class, and you are having the third which will inherit the four-wheeler. Okay, so you are having class car which will inherit the four-wheeler, and you are printing car has four wheels. So how you are going to implement this thing? Just to create an object. So this object will call this function. So the car has four wheelers, that particular thing will be printed. So what you have to understand from this example is, you can implement multi-level inheritance in this manner, where you can be having one base class. From that base class you can be deriving another class. From this class you can be deriving another class. You can be having multiple levels of inheritance in this manner. Not only three, you can be having some more levels of inheritance. That is about multi-level inheritance. And the next thing is, we have hierarchical inheritance. In hierarchical inheritance, more than one subclass is inherited from a single base class. Okay, more than one subclass is inherited from your single base class. That is, you are having one base class. From this base class, you can inherit more than one subclasses or more than one derived classes. Okay, from that you can be having more than one derived classes. That is, from class E, I can be deriving D and F. From class G, I can be deriving B and E. From class B, you can be deriving A and C. If you see G, B, A, this will be multi-level inheritance. Okay, what you have to understand from your hierarchical inheritance is, from a single base class, you can be inheriting more than one subclasses or derived classes. Okay, so you should be able to comprehend between multiple inheritance and hierarchical inheritance. Multiple inheritance means you can be having more than one base class to one derived class. This will be multiple. Okay, hierarchical means you will be having one base class. From that base class you can be having more than one derived class. This is your hierarchical inheritance. Okay, so how to implement the hierarchical inheritance? If you are having one base class, okay, from this base class you can be implementing more than one derived classes. So you are having class car which will inherit your vehicle class, and you are having class bus which will inherit your vehicle class. Okay, you are having two derived classes from the same base class, that is vehicle. So if I invoke your particular objects in a proper manner, you can print those statements. So from this you should understand, if I create the car object, it will implement this thing. And if I create the bus object, it will implement your vehicle. Okay, so based upon your implementation, here your car and bus classes are independent. Okay, so what the code you have written is, you are having vehicle class and you are having car class and you are having bus class. So the vehicle class has one constructor which will print your this is vehicle, and the car doesn't have anything and bus doesn't have any method. When I create the car object 1, it will print the particular constructor, and if I create the bus object 2, again it will call the constructor and it will print the same thing second time. So this is how you are going to implement your hierarchical inheritance, where more than one derived classes will be getting the data from your one base class. Okay, so this is your hierarchical inheritance, and the last type is your hybrid inheritance, where you can be mixing more than one types of inheritance, whatever you have seen. You can be having multiple inheritances, hierarchical inheritances, and combining them. That is, hybrid inheritances will be implemented by combining more than one type of inheritance. For example, combining hierarchical inheritance and multiple inheritance. So you can be seeing the hierarchical inheritance here, where the class F is providing your inheritance to class B and class C, and you can be seeing the multiple inheritance where class F and G is providing inheritance to E. And this is another multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, where one base class is providing data to two children class. So this is hybrid inheritance, where you can be combining more than one inheritance to form your multiple inheritances. That is, this is multiple inheritance, this is your multiple inheritance, where multiple base classes are providing data, and this is your hierarchical inheritance. This is another hierarchical inheritance. Okay, you can be combining more than one inheritances to form your hybrid inheritance. So an example for this one, you can be saying here. So you are having class vehicle, and this is one base class, and we are having class fare. This is another base class fare. We are having two base classes here, and we are having one derived class. We are having vehicle class, one base class, fare class, another base class, and class car vehicle. Car is inheriting from vehicle, so this is the inheritance. And if you see bus, it is inheriting from both vehicle and car. So bus, which is inheriting from both vehicle and car. So this is the implementation of your hybrid inheritance, where you will be having multiple inheritance as well as hierarchical inheritance. Okay, so this is what we'll be calling it as a hybrid inheritance, where you can be combining more than one inheritance types. So these are the various types of inheritance you can implement based upon your requirement in the given application. So these are the various types of inheritance, and from this point of view you can understand what is basically the inheritance, where you will be having the existing class, that will be calling it as the base class. From the existing class we will be creating new classes, we will be calling them as the derived classes. So the derived class will acquire the properties of your base classes. and we'll be having 5 different types of inheritance. The simple inheritance or the single inheritance, then we'll be having the multiple inheritance, then hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance and multi-level inheritance. So this is about your inheritance. In the next session we will be looking about more the other related topics related to inheritance, and we'll be concluding the particular unit in the next session. Thank you.